serendipitous, and the moment I opened my door, a half-naked young adult East Asian man was standing inside my house holding my wife's wine glass.
My flight never took off. They said sorry, handed out hotel vouchers, but I just wanted my own bed. I didn't text my wife, the surprise I thought would make her day. But pulling into the driveway, my spot was taken. It was a stranger's car. Not a neighbor, not her sister. My stomach twisted. The house was dim, but I saw shadows moving. I unlocked the door, trying to breathe, telling myself not to jump to conclusions. Before I could even push it open, it swung inward. A man stood there, shirtless, a glass of wine in his hand. He looked confused, then annoyed. He yelled, "Baby, who's at the—" And then he saw me. He froze. My heart just stopped. It felt like a punch to the chest. Behind him, my wife appeared. She was wearing one of my t-shirts, the one she always said she wore to sleep better when I was away. Her face went completely pale. She stared at me like I was a ghost. I asked whose car was in the driveway, even though my whole body was screaming the answer. She looked at him, then at me, unable to speak. I stepped inside. I wasn't going to stand on my own porch like a stranger. The man backed away, mumbling something I couldn't understand. My wife finally tried to say something, but the words were a tangled mess in her throat. I told her, "You should probably explain before I start making assumptions." All she could say was, "I wasn't expecting you." I just looked at her. That's not an explanation. Then the tears started, as if they could wash away the scene I had just walked into. I wasn't yelling. I wasn't even angry, not yet. I was just hollowed out. She kept saying it was a mistake. I told her mistakes don't open the front door half naked. The man, standing awkwardly in the corner, asked if he should leave. I looked at him and said, "You should have left before you ever came inside." He grabbed his things in silence and slipped out the back door. My wife just collapsed onto the couch, sobbing like her world was ending. I stood there, watching her, wondering how many other lies she'd told me. She said she was lonely. I reminded her I was traveling for work, trying to build the life she always said she wanted. She said she didn't plan for this to happen. I told her planning wasn't the issue, choosing was. She asked if we could talk calmly. I told her calm walked out the door the moment that man opened it. She begged me not to leave. I looked at her and said, "I'm not leaving." "But you are." The shock on her face was almost comical. She started to argue, but her words were weak, desperate. I couldn't listen anymore. I needed to breathe. I went upstairs to pack a bag. As I opened our bedroom door, the smell hit me. Cologne, not mine. It was like a physical wave, and my hands started shaking uncontrollably. I sat on the edge of our bed and it hit me. I didn't even know this woman anymore. She followed me into the room, reaching out to touch my shoulder. I flinched away like her hand was on fire. That made her cry even harder. She said she never meant to hurt me. I looked at her and said, "Hurting me is the only thing you've fully succeeded at." I went back downstairs with my bag, and she followed me like a shadow. She said she'd do anything to fix this. I told her she should have thought about fixing us before she invited someone else into our home. She asked if I hated her. I shook my head. "I don't hate you. I just can't trust you anymore." She grabbed my arm, begging me to forgive her. I pulled away gently. "Forgiveness isn't something you earn with panic." She dropped to her knees, crying that she'd ruined everything. I didn't answer. I just walked out, got into my car, and drove away without a single glance back. I found a quiet overlook. The city lights spread out below me like a million broken promises. I parked and just sat there until the sun came up. My phone buzzed all night with her messages, each one more frantic than the last. I didn't read them. The silence felt better than the lies. As the first light of dawn hit the sky, I took a deep breath. It hurt, a deep, searing pain in my chest, but it was the first real breath I felt like I'd taken in months. I knew my life would never be the same. But I also knew, with a clarity that cut through all the pain, that I deserved better than a home where a stranger answers my door. I was ready to start over, even if it meant starting completely alone. Thanks for listening. If you've ever been through something like this, know you're not alone. Don't forget to follow for more stories.